With a couple extremely deflating losses on the resume of NC State football, how will they find the confidence to keep moving forward?
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Wolfpack Nation? It's time to get locked in with Locked On. Thanks for making Locked On Wolfpack your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Our Tuesday show is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms, as always, apply. Happy Tuesday to all. As always, I'm Grayson Boone, joined by former Wolfpack defensive tackle Kenton Gibbs. Kenton, today, still talking about NC State football and this loss to Notre Dame on Saturday. But I want to angle this to a conversation about confidence. I saw a tweet from Rob McLam, who's a writer for Inside Pack Sports on Saturday. It says, and I quote, "As I sit and think about it, I still don't think NC State has recovered from that late first half turnover at Duke over 3 weeks ago," unquote. He's referring to the offsides, non-called offsides interception that CJ threw right before the first half ended at Duke. Duke returned it nearly all the way back, scored a touchdown, completely changed the dynamic of that game. To Rob's point here, I think I completely agree. That has not felt like the same NC State team since that turnover, because obviously you go on in the second half of that Duke game, you fall apart and you lose. The week after that, you have a coachless, directionless Virginia Tech team come into Raleigh. For some reason, we allowed them to come into our house and walk away with the win. That did not feel like the same NC State team that we've seen a couple weeks prior. And now, obviously, you go to Notre Dame. Not many of us predicted they'd go up there and get it done, but they looked lifeless up there, completely not confident. The second half were sleepwalking and then ultimately quit there in the fourth quarter in terms of play calling, effort, players walking off the field before the game ended, like actually quit that game. So now I pose the question, is confidence a major factor that we're going to have to be questioning moving forward? In these last 5 games, are they going to continue to show up and put forth 110% effort? Or are we going to see more of what we saw in the second half and possibly the fourth quarter at Notre Dame?
Is it confidence or is it just a lack of ability? That needs to be asked.
Possibly both.
Because what we saw from our defense in those games, right? I mean, even though the score was fairly low, you allowed Virginia Tech to control the clock, control the ball, do what they wanted to do offensively. Virginia Tech ain't beat nobody else. They ain't beat nobody else. Very seriously. And Grayson, please correct me if I'm wrong here. How many other Power 4 games have they won this year?
None.
Well, you know what? That's Power 4, and maybe they just got a really hard draw, Grayson. Maybe they got a really hard draw. How many more games against FBS teams have they won?
None.
Oh, okay. So now I'm supposed to sit here and believe, oh, this is a lack of confidence that has us playing in this way. Oh, this is a lack of confidence that has us. The offense scored 33 points against Duke. Even with that turnover, even with everything that went wrong, 33 points, multiple 90-yard drives. This is a team that does not have it from top to bottom. This is a team that is not coached to show up in big moments. This is a team that, regardless of if it's a big game or not, if it's a big moment, don't worry about it. We're going to fold like origami. It's not going to happen time after time after time. We let a Duke team run all over us. You had a situation where you could potentially get a stop and win the game at the end of the game. And what do we allow on, what was it, fourth and 1 or third and 1? A 70-something yard run where, mind you, nobody was close enough to a back that they call baby all-star, which means what? Not the fleetest of foot. Not the fastest. And he's looking to the sideline saying, do I go down? Do I score? Do I go down? That's how much time you have. So this is not, it's not just about, oh, are they confident? Oh, is the offense confident? Oh, who looks like what? Because if anything, against Campbell, that's your game to get right, get confident, get back confident. We all thought, based on what we saw offensively against Campbell, this team was back right. Not saying that they would do the same things to Notre Dame, but saying that the confidence would be back there. It's not. So at a certain point, we have to ask ourselves, is it a lack of confidence or is it a lack of ability against defenses that have a pulse? When you look at the defenses that we dominated early in the season, even if you say the ECU game, in the second half, we did precious little with the ball. If you look at the Wake Forest game, we had to get punched in the mouth and wake up and get a thick six to keep us in that game before the offense finally got rolling and did what they were supposed to do there. You go forward from that game to UVA. Hey, offense did their big one. Defense, you know what you did in that game. You know. And so you ask, is it a confidence thing? I just think it's to a point. You know, as in my family, we say the phrase a lot. It gets to a point with you. And that's where I'm at with this team. It gets to a damn point where I'm sitting here saying, why do we always have to come up with these convoluted ways of what's not working? That's a clear sign we're just not it. Because you know who never has to come up with reasons for why it's not working? Winning football team. Has anybody, do you think that the guys from Locked On Georgia Tech are having a conversation like this?
They would if the channel existed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know that channel used to exist. My bad. Y'all know my CTE get to acting up sometime. My bad. But they're not. If that was a channel that still existed, they wouldn't be having this conversation. Why?
Take Dono, for example, Miami.
Yeah, Dono in Miami. You think he's having a conversation? What's not working for Miami? We're all waiting for Jay Lucas. Nope, just us. You know why? Because when you are losing, the water tastes a little bit worse. The ice ain't as cold. The jokes ain't as funny. The girls ain't as pretty. The steak ain't as good. The crab legs take a little harder to crack. Everything is worse when you are losing. The oxtails ain't tender. They ain't falling off the bone. You can bang them on the table and the meat just ain't going to come off. Everything is worse when you are losing. And so we can try to get to the root cause of it, and we could say, well, let's do a little reverse engineering of the process. And since this play, we weren't the same team. Well, yes, but in different ways. That's my only problem with saying, is it a confidence thing if it's multiple different parts of the team not performing well at different times? Because remember, the first drive against Campbell, we noted, wait a minute, did they just convert a 3rd and 10 by running a counter? That may be problematic against the Notre Dame team that can run it just a little bit more than the Campbell Camels. They can run it just a little bit better, I would believe. They got the youngest players on that team are a little bit older than Campbell's football program, let alone how storied that Notre Dame program. You know, so I mean, again, we can try to paint it this way or that way, or this is why or that's why. At the end of the day, we are in a result-based business. I don't care what the problem is. I just know the problems are persisting and causing us not to win. And I'll leave it at this. This is the worst part about this whole thing, Grayson. This may be the worst coaching carousel in the history of college football to try to replace your coaching.
Buckle up.
Day after day, feels like I push against the clouds, but they just keep blocking out the sun.
Point being, there are many things that have gone wrong with NC State football. I do think confidence is a major factor, especially coming out of that Duke game. But guess where a lot of confidence gets instilled from a football team? The coaching staff. And so I also view this as a failure of the coaching staff. They clearly are not getting through to this team about the things that need to improve, the way they need to improve upon them, and how they move forward as a collective unit. The way that they quit on the field in the fourth quarter at Notre Dame, that is not a good sign for the final 5 games to come. Because teams that quit at any point of the season, that tends to bleed into the rest of the season, i.e. Florida State opting out of that bowl game, losing, 63-3 to Georgia. Then the next year, they have the worst season in school history, 2-10. And you can trace that back to the way that they quit on that program. They quit on that coaching staff, so on and so forth.
And by the way, that team still has not won an ACC game since then.
They are quite literally still dealing with the ramifications of watching them wilt away to end that season. There's a poison that gets injected into your program when that level of giving up and negativity and it just sinks everything so fast. And again, that starts up top. And so I've not liked the way that NC State has responded from just one turnover. And this is what, 4 weeks ago now, 3 weeks ago now? That is how you let one loss snowball into 2 losses. Maybe you hit a bump and you skip one because you beat Campbell. It's now feels like it has snowballed into 3 different losses. Will it be 4? Will it be 5? That's up to the coaching staff and the players in that locker room. That's why I posed yesterday. They're going to have to show us what they want to do the rest of the season. They have the choice. You want to quit? Then roll over and quit. Don't even bother. You want to respond? Find a way to respond. It's up to y'all. We're going to have to see how that goes the next couple weeks. Coming up next, we're going to get into a whole lot of nothing, whole lot of something. This comes after a quick word from our sponsors. Our first Tuesday sponsor is Wayfair. The holidays are going to be here before you know it, which is exciting, but getting your home ready for guests and celebrations can feel like a lot. Maybe your serveware needs a refresh, or the guest room could use some new bedding. Wayfair has everything you need to get your home holiday ready. From Christmas trees and wreaths to bedding, cookware, and outdoor inflatables, it's your one-stop shop for every room in the house. Wayfair makes it easy to personalize your home for the holidays with a huge selection for every style and every budget. With free and easy delivery, even on the big stuff, you can get everything you need without the hassle of huge delivery fees. Now, instead of stressing out about getting the house ready, you can actually enjoy the holidays with friends and family. Get organized, refreshed, and ready for the holidays for way less. Head over to wayfair.com right now to shop all things home. That's Wayfair, Wayfair, wayfair.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Our second Tuesday sponsor is FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer that you simply do not want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and you'll get $300 back in bonus bets if that $5 bet wins. Yes, that's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if that thing hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. It makes watching football that much more exciting when you've got a little something extra riding on the action. Whether you're a casual fan or you just love diving into the stats, FanDuel makes every game day experience that much better. So, what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. FanDuel, play your game. Middle portion of our Tuesday show. Now time for a whole lot of nothing, a whole lot of something. 3 topics. We'll tell you exactly where we stand on them. First one here, and this is arguably the hottest topic amongst college football. Penn State fired James Franklin after a 3-3 start. 2 weeks ago, they were a top 5 team in the country. They're on College Gameday, talking about the CFP. 2 weeks later, James Franklin canned. Kenton, what kind of precedent does that set for teams that have experienced success with a coach, but then you hit some rough patches and you get rid of them? Whole lot of nothing, whole lot of something.
Oh, this is a whole lot of something. Not even from the standpoint of experiencing success with a coach ain't enough anymore. This just made the coaching search exponentially harder for NC State.
It's going to be chaos.
You have to understand, a coaching search is a lot like musical chairs. It's not just about, oh, does a coach think that your chair is attractive? It's the words of famous Detroiter Jalen Rose, who, by the way, was one of the first Jalens ever. Ain't that crazy to think about? After him, the name Jalen exploded. Yeah, he's one of the first Jalens ever. Yeah. The name Jalen was not in the popular lexicon until Jalen Rose was born. Until Jalen Rose took that team to the Final Four, then the name Jalen took off. Before that date, it was very rare to see a Jalen.
Shout out Jalen Rose.
Shout out Jalen Rose. He said in front of his fiance, soon-to-be wife, now ex-wife, Molly Karam, you're only as faithful as your options are. When you think about a coaching search, it's not just about, is NC State a great place? I'm not going to argue with anybody about, is NC State a great place? It's a hell of a place. It's a hell of a coaching job. If I were a college coach, which, by the way, I see the notes of people saying, seriously, get into coaching. No. I'm much too competitive and I care way too much. And if I have a wife and kid one day, they'll never deserve to feel that. But now, with that being said, even with all the greatness that I know NC State can achieve, even with the fact that North Carolina is a hotbed of talent and with the rising cost of living in New York, more and more potential great ball players are coming down to the state of North Carolina, right? The problem with that is this. We are not comparing with a Penn State in terms of how attractive of a job it is. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. I think we could beat out Oklahoma State in terms of attractiveness of a job. I think we can do that. Sure. We can beat out Stillwater. It's tough to say you beat them out. And then the domino effect of that, right? You got this job open. You got Kentucky potentially coming open. You got Florida potentially coming up. All these jobs open at the same time as yours. How do you jump to the front of the seat or how do you jump to be the most attractive seat for a coach? Like, obviously, like I said, it's like musical chairs. Somebody eventually has to sit in your chair. But do you get the pick of the litter? Are coaches saying, oh, I want this chair more than any other? In this type of job cycle, it's tough. So, or in this type of cycle where we're seeing more potentially great coaching openings than ever, it'll be tough. So I'd say all in all, Franklin getting fired is a whole lot of something, but not even from the angle of like, hey, this means that coaches who've done great things can be fired. Because if that was the case, Gundy has done the greatest of any Oklahoma State coach ever. There's no Oklahoma State coach that's really in this stratosphere, including Jimmy damn Johnson. Jimmy Johnson is not in his stratosphere as an Oklahoma State coach. So, it's just one of those situations where, boy, it just seems like right when we get it right with basketball, now football is ending up in one of the most dire situations possible.
Weirdly coincidental, eh? No, but it's definitely a whole lot of something. And before we get too far into this, if you are an NC State fan licking your chops, thinking that we're about to get James Franklin, I wouldn't get your hopes up. I do not see that happening. All right, back to the topic at hand. Penn State, in my opinion, I think they made a mistake. However, I understand holding standards very important to you and wanting to stand on top of your standards. I get that too. Josh Pate had the best take on this that I've heard so far. Basically, he's saying that Penn State, they view themselves on the same exact level as Ohio State, as Texas. So now them firing James Franklin and having to pay $50 million to do so, they're going to have to prove it. Or else, this is a big gamble, like a really big gamble. Now, do I suspect they're going to land a good coach? Yeah, because of their pedigree and their blue-bloodedness and the level of job that is, they're more than likely going to land on their feet. That's just the way these things go. But for them to, I think, pull the trigger now, and I get it, James Franklin's reputation is oddly similar to that of Dave Doeren. When the lights are bright, when you have a big game, you seemingly never come through. And that is why Penn State made the decision that they did. But this is a guy, again, was in the national semifinal just 9 months ago? Again, he was on College Game Day in a top 10 matchup 2 weeks ago. Talk about the CFP. Can they make it? Do they have the most complete team? Fast forward to now, he's gone. I see people now tracking flights, and they think it's James Franklin coming to Raleigh. I think the flight was coming from PA, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, into Durham and not Raleigh. This is now a crazy precedent that Penn State has now thrown upon the coaching carousel. And to Kenton's point, you better buckle up because this is going to get absolutely unhinged when this thing really gets spinning here in roughly a month to a month and a half's time. Most certainly a whole lot of something. Second one here, our starting right guard, not our center, Spike Souls made the PFF Team of the Week, and he's a true freshman midseason All-American. Again, at right guard, not his natural position, which is center. Whole lot of nothing, whole lot of something.
Whole lot of something. Whoever is listening to this as the head coach of NC State football, be it Dave Doeren, be it somebody else in a few months from now, I don't care who it is. Grayson, I don't care if they make you the head coach. If you are listening to this and you are a head coaching candidate or you are the head coach of NC State football, regardless of what happens and who decides to leave, whatever Mr. Souls needs to stay in Raleigh, you get it to him. You understand? Here's why I say that. The best teams in the nation are paying them big boys. Mm-hmm. The best teams in the nation are making, when you find you a big boy, 18 years old now, 3 years off of being able to legally drink, okay? He's 3 years off of getting that first shot of Hennessy after a heartbreak. He's a ways away. And he's out here playing like this. He's not just playing well. He is exceeding everybody's expectations. Beyond exceeding everybody's expectations, besides, of course, Mr. and Mrs. Souls in terms of his mom and dad. I mean, who could have predicted how well this young man would have played right off the bat? He has been a bright spot on this offense. Whole lot of something. Whatever you got to do to keep him in Raleigh, don't worry. If I got to physically go to the dorm room and stop him from leaving, I'll do it. I'll do my best. We can line it up on board drill. Hey, I'm joking. My Achilles is old. I don't do no board drill no more. But in all seriousness, man, whole lot of something. He's fantastic.
Quiet as it's kept because no one really talks about offensive linemen all that much. Spike has been one of the best players on the team the last couple of weeks. And so when everybody gets all up in arms about, oh, we're going to lose CJ. Oh, we're going to lose our coaching staff. Oh, we're going to lose the whole offense. I would keep Spike Souls at the forefront of your mind. This is one of the most important players on the team right now, and he's playing like it. To be a midseason true freshman All-American, only playing in what, like 3 full games? Like he was just inserted full-time a couple weeks ago, and he's a midseason All-American. Just chew on that for a second. That's how well he's playing. He's been graded out as the best offensive lineman on the team twice in the last 3 games. Like, this is very for real. So if you're going to be worried about retention in October, Spike Souls is very, very valuable to this football team, and we certainly hope we can hang on to him a whole lot longer than just this season. Third one here, Wes Moore. He is absolutely frying the recruiting trail. Kamora Pruitt, a 4-star 2026 recruit, the number 28 rated player in the country. Also, if you have not seen it, she had a legendary commitment video, actually surprised Wes Moore and the team in the middle of practice. They did not know she was going to be there, and she literally runs through Reynolds Coliseum to let them know her decision. Awesome moment. Whole lot of nothing, whole lot of something.
Whole lot of something. Wes Moore continues to cook. Wes Moore does not know. He does not know how to leave the kitchen. It is so insane to think about, right? The worst Wes Moore team that we've seen was a first-round NCAA tournament exit. The worst. Like last year's team was not expected to be that good. Was predicted to finish, what, 5th or something like that in the ACC preseason? And what they end up doing? Everybody saying we broke Notre Dame. Hey, I'm just telling you the truth. I'm just telling you what the Notre Dame fans are telling me. They said, hey, that group of young ladies was not the same after they left Reynolds Coliseum and that massive comeback. So I sit here before you all today saying this is a situation where Wes Moore is Wes Moore is Wes Moore, and he just doesn't know how to do anything but cook on the trail. And, you know, we love him so much because of it. Because, again, it's almost bizarro world to think about. We have a team at NC State that is so consistently good. The expectation, the floor for them is to be one of the last 32 teams playing every year. That's the floor. That's like anything short of that, we're all looking around like, what the hell done happened here? What's going on? So, you know, shout out to Wes Moore, again, getting it done on the recruiting trail.
And keep in mind, this is coming off of the heels of a very last-minute addition to the portal for this season. And now they're looking at being one of the top 3 teams in the ACC for this season. Again, you can't cool this man off with a fire hose and a bucket of ice. He's cooking on the recruiting trail. He's put together a team that's going to cook on the court this year. And now he's building even more blocks to cook next year and further on in the future. Wes Moore's putting on a clinic on how to run a successful basketball program. Will Wade now is going to do it on the men's side. Maybe Steve Smith was right a couple of years ago. Maybe NC State just is a basketball. Shout out Wes Moore and the women's basketball team. A massive commitment from Kamora Pruitt, a top 30 player in the country. Can't wait to see what she does inside of Reynolds Coliseum. Coming up next, we're going to switch gears and talk men's basketball. The preseason AP poll is out. NC State is not on it, and we have some thoughts. More on this after a quick word from our sponsors. Our third Tuesday sponsor is Gametime. College football is back, and college basketball is also right around the corner. The tailgates, the rivalries, the energy in the stands, there's just simply nothing like it. But let's be real. Sometimes getting tickets can feel like more of a battle than the game itself. There's endless queues, hidden fees, and prices jumping off at checkout. That's why I use Gametime. It's the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. It's the easiest way to score last-minute tickets at the best prices with zero surprise fees. What you see is what you pay. So take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets or college basketball tickets all season long with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, and again, that's promo code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE, Locked On College for $20 off that first purchase. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. Last couple minutes of our Tuesday show, switching gears over to the hard court, talking some NC State men's basketball. The preseason AP Top 25 is now out. I'll put it up on the screen, and we'll talk about it. So as you can see here, obviously the first thing you're going to notice is NC State is not a part of the Top 25. We'll tell you more about that in just a second. However, looking through the rest of these teams, obviously you see Kansas at 19. They're coming to Raleigh. You see Auburn at 20. We're going to Auburn. You see the Dirty Foot Club at 25. You see Louisville at 11. You see Duke at 6. All opponents, actually, I don't know if we play Louisville this year, mostly all opponents that we're going to have to see this year. So we have a loaded schedule. We knew that already. And now you get numbers put on the side of names. But Kenton, not seeing a number next to NC State's name to start the season, what does that mean to you?
In the words of one Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, and that's the way I like it. Trust me. Fly under the radar. Fly under the radar. While everybody else is talking big and, oh, yeah, it's their time and you know, we're going to get it done. Now's the time for us to fly under the radar. You know, a lot of people were bigging us up over the off season, all that. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. We finna have to tip the ball up now. So, yep, it's time.
We've often said on this show a lot of times that preseason polls, more often than not, they don't mean anything. Like, really, they mean nothing. You don't know what a team is going to be until you see them physically on the court and the ball gets tipped. So you have a general idea based on the roster building and program history, but no one knows for sure what's going to happen in a little less than a month's time. And to put a megaphone on what Kenton just told you, we should prefer it that way, especially with Will Wade and the staff and the roster that he's brought along with him. This team, they need no added motivation, but if you want to give them some, they're going to take it. And I think something that doesn't get talked about enough is the sports psychology behind these types of things. And I always go back to Kirby Smart, the year that they went back to back, and that team in interviews was saying, nobody believed in us. Everybody doubted us. Nobody thought we could be here. And everybody's looking at them like, you were preseason number one. You were number one all year. You're one of the best defenses we've ever seen. Who was telling you that nobody believed in you? Kirby Smart was the one telling them that. He would not allow them to believe the outside world saying, wow, this Georgia team, they're a juggernaut. They're going to steamroll everyone. He would not allow them to get out over their skis and then have the season fall apart because they believed in themselves too much, wouldn't let it happen. Will Wade, I will not be surprised at all if he begins to take a similar approach. Now, he wants the guys to believe in themselves. That's not what I'm getting at. But when you give, let's call it what it is, when you give a psychopath an additional advantage, they're going to take advantage of it. And this might just be, however small it is, this might be another advantage that they're going to use. That will do it for our Tuesday show. As always, thank you all so much for joining us. Be sure to hit that like button, drop your comments in the comment box, mash the subscribe button if you have not already. Give us your thoughts on NC State football and their confidence levels moving forward, the level of confidence in the coaching staff moving forward. That might be a bigger key than we care to admit. Anything else you have in your mind? Wes Moore's basketball recruiting, Will Wade and NC State being excluded from the preseason top 25. Give us your thoughts on that. Again, anything else you have in your mind, hit us in the box. We'll see y'all tomorrow on Wednesday for more. And until then, go Pack.
Go Pack.